Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Giovanni Segura Cesar Canchila fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim!
We've seen hard-punching fighters out of Colombia in recent years, most notably, of course, the storied middleweight and now super middleweight Edison Miranda, who was favored over Kelly Pavlik before losing to Pavlik in what was, in effect, an eliminator fight for a middleweight championship shot against Jermaine Taylor. Canchila tells us that he's indeed good friends with Miranda, and although Segura is known as a knockout artist, Canchila was quite confident in saying to us yesterday he's the one who expects to score the knockout tonight. He has very prominent eyebrows, Emmanuel, and has had a cut as the result of a butt over the right eye in a recent fight.
You know, I was looking at the tapes of him. He's fundamentally a very solid fighter. Me and Mad Max was talking about that earlier, that, you know, I didn't think much of him. I thought he was serving the role as an opponent for Segura. But once I looked at the fight, basically sound, good short right hand, and it's just hard for me to visualize these little bitty guys as being punchers, but he is a very good fighter.
First trip out of Colombia, first trip to the United States, only here in Las Vegas 4 days, Max. Sometimes that can be tough on a veteran fighter.
Like a lot of these good young Colombian prospects we see, they have worlds of talent and toughness, and therefore they're plucked, chosen out of Colombia, chosen to come to the States and be used as stepping stones for fighters with better, usually amateur pedigrees. That is the case again tonight.
Now Segura, after his parents had left his small town in Mexico, was running a farm with his brothers at age 16. Says that he was a fan of boxing, had watched Julio Cesar Chavez and Ricardo Lopez, but had no inkling that he might want to take up the sport himself. Moved to the United States, where he found that his brother was getting picked on in high school. And at that point, he was invited by someone to go into a gym and took up boxing and began his amateur career, and has turned out, Emmanuel, to be something of a natural in the sport.
He's a natural. He fights on what you call left-handed, right-handed, and you don't even pay much attention because he's just switching back and forth. But the one thing that I notice about him, he's a predator. He's busy all the time putting pressure on you from all kind of angles, and his punches has a funny little loop that can get you uncoordinated the way he throws them.
So an unconventional fighter with a high degree of comfort both as a person and as a fighter, Max.
Yes, his ability to learn as quickly as he had to get to this level is remarkable, and you can see it when you talk to him. He's a very smart young guy. His ability to change southpaw and orthodox is unique in that he uses it to better cut off the ring. I haven't seen anyone do it quite as naturally as he does in order to cut off the ring.
Yeah, Miguel Cotto does it, but he does it very constructedly and always with an obvious purpose in mind. This guy does it instinctively, as you'll see during the fight. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, Bob Arum's Top Rank Boxing presents a special sanctioned bout by the World Boxing Association. This contest is sponsored by Tecate Cerveza with Attitude, the rums of Puerto Rico, the rum capital of the world, Reebok, and Universal Pictures, action motion picture of the Summer Death Race, in theaters everywhere, Friday, August 22nd. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this contest on the 10-point system will be Adelaide Bird, Ruben Garcia, and Patricia Morris-Jarman. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Jay Nady. And now, on the line, the WBA Interim World Championship, 12 rounds of boxing. This is in the light flyweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the colors of Colombia and officially weighing in at 108 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one. 26 victories, including 21 knockouts, only 1 defeat. He comes to us from Cerrete, Colombia, the WBA number 2 ranked light flyweight in the world, Cesar Canchila. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with white. His weight also officially 108 pounds. He has a record consisting of 19 victories without a loss, 1 draw, 15 of his 19 victories by knockout. Originally from Guerrero, Mexico, now fighting out of Bell, California. He's the WBA #1 ranked light flyweight in the world, Giovanni El Guerrero Azteca Segura.
Listo, compa, a pelear, a pelear. No quiero nada de corredera.
Okay.
Bájense como un rey.
Buena suerte. Let's touch gloves. Let's go to work.
Échale pecho.
Okay.
Segura said that from a young age, watching great champions like Julio Cesar Chavez and Ricardo Lopez, he understood the language of boxing. When asked about that, he said he means the difference between a good fight and a bad fight. A good fight is when the crowd's on its feet. Given the styles of these two, I think we're in for a good fight.
So it's Giovanni Segura in the black trunks and Cesar Canchilla in the red. And both guys start out throwing bombs. And immediately you see Segura switch from conventional to southpaw.
He reminds you of a Nassim Hamed, but his punches are not as accurate or short and compact as Hamed's. His punches is more of a loop, but it still reminds you of him a little bit.
Switches back to the conventional stance. Already Segura's got a little grin on his face as if to say, oh, I can see what you do.
Canchilla, that
he
right
takes
hand,
a hard right hand.
I was just getting ready to say, he's in there with a guy, you cannot play around with Canchilla.
I mean,
but now Segura seems to wobble Canchilla with his own right hand and drives him into the ropes.
Canchilla's right hand is sneaky, fast, and lands with authority.
It would get wildly repetitive if I told you every time Segura switches stances. Just accept that it happens almost every time Canchilla moves from side to side.
You can't see the punches. He shoots his punches at a looping angle, and you don't see them coming from the side.
Straight left hand by Segura, who seems to be getting the better of it early.
Segura's not aware of when he switches from southpaw to orthodox. It just happens naturally.
Both guys are basically gunning for a first-round knockout.
Segura's got Canchilla totally off, uncoordinated and everything. He's not used to anyone throwing punches the way he is, and from left and right.
And I'm wondering if I see a small trickle of blood already from above the right eye of Canchilla, who seemed to be pawing at his eye with his glove a moment ago. Stop! Oh, it looks as though there's no blood yet. But even on the television shot, you can see how prominent his eyebrows are. A bone structure that just begs for a cut. Stop! Has anybody thrown a jab in this fight?
Actually, Canchilla is actually throwing and delivering his punches the same way that Segura is now.
Both guys are real knockout punchers with both hands, and they like to swing both hands.
108-pound barroom brawl. Stop! Looks like they're going to make it out of round one, but how far will they go?
Sit. Come on, keep your head. Keep your head. You hit him 3 times. No, not that bottle. You hit him 3 times. You hurt him. Jab, jab, jab. Relax. Relax. Relax and keep your guards up. Keep your guards up. Your guards up. Keep your guard up. Take most of that off.
Here you see Segura come in with a left-hand shot right on the belt line, and he comes back from one of those weird angles, as I was saying earlier, with shots coming where you don't even expect punches to come from. And probably the most serious damage was did in the round was probably from that punch, the right hand that came back.
So people have been asking me for years, whatever happened to Prince Nassim? Well, here he is, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, Lou is
in a 108-pound package.
Lou. That's all right.
Hamed was never as aggressive as this in a sustained way.
No, that's right. He was more about picking his spots. CompuBox numbers in round one. Segura 18 of 78. Canchila 9 of 48. 126 total punches. Only 15 of them were jabs. Only one landed jab. You heard Canchila's trainer between rounds begging his fighter, could you please throw a jab? Orlando Pineda is